Hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back to Manufactio Nuclear Edition, where in last episode we played around a little bit with the observatories and one of the mining drone hub thingy majiggers. And I have since let the world run and kind of played after last episode for quite a while. Actually, there's a there's a number over there we can kind of look at, but along with that, there's a number over here we can kind of look at, and we're going to talk about the rest of this mess. But I have been running various things, getting things done, and we've managed to run at least several of the regular small mission asteroid, or the tiny asteroid missions for the Cobalt. So we've got quite a bit of that stuff done down there, so we can go take a look at that. And one of the things that I should probably have mentioned prior to going on past anything else is the fact that someone was kind enough to leave us an interface underneath the bottom of these things. So I stuck a hopper underneath the bottom of all three of them and hooked up a belt line. And I figured a belt line would be more than sufficient just because the fact it's a 5-minute process for each one of these. And they just deliver all of their contents to this nice chest, and then we can kind of pick and choose from in here. Now, again, before I get too crazy, I said, maybe we probably just throw some of this stuff away and never need to use it. If I click the use button on here, there's two uses for these various things. One of which is to send a miner out into the world to get some asteroid stuff, some goodies. And the other is to run those through a laboratory to get the white science packs. Now, there was a number in here, if I remember correctly. Let's grab one of the smaller ones. Use that one right there. This should be a use chance. The lighter the number again, here, the less the chance that you are going to get the science pack. Whereas, say, one of these, the fours, they're the ones that are mission 4 here. If I do that again, there is a full-on chance to get the thing. So for certain, every one of these that we're not planning on using, we're going to be running through the laboratory so that we can get the white science packs as we go through, so that we can do white research, so we can do a few things. I'm very interested in the ender chests, and yes, I understand that's a really long ways away from where we are right now, but I have been running a few things. I'm actually currently running through a bunch of mission profiles for the silicon. So we have a bunch of silica, or the solid fuel up here, and I went ahead and made a bunch of these little mass asteroid tier miner whatever we can run at this current time, and we're just letting this machine run. I'm just going to kind of grab the various things we need, and I'm going to continue to kind of just build these on down, I think, as we get a little bit further on with more of the stuff. So the main reason I was after those is for the Cobalt, and I've also run a few of these unknown objects. We got a tiny unknown object and got a whole bunch of just random loot crates for it. It was kind of cool. Some of the stuff was in it more or less went right straight into the trash can, but some of it did stay a little bit. So we'll probably run some of those eventually. We're getting a few things. I have run some of the gold. I have run some of the titanium, and I think I ran a couple of the aluminum out of it. It's definitely well, for what it's worth, it's getting us some properties and some stuff, but I'm still very concerned about being able to make enough yellow science to actually do any of the science in a reasonable amount of time. And the reason why I'm after this is because of that thing right there. Now, every single yellow science, or I should say every single yellow science that we produce, is going to require a single piece of cobalt dust. This is one of the only things that we cannot easily produce without doing a lot of something else. So the lithium salt, we've got that stuff automated. The lime, in between episodes, I went and mined out about 3 or 4 very large chunks of underground. There's just, because of the way we have, I forget what is it, we have Natura or whatever, some one of the things, some one of the mods produces massive chunks, or massive formations, I should say, underground of various materials. And if you take a mining drill or a diamond hammer or something along those lines and just go to town inside one of those things, you can fill I don't have any more of those things in here, but anyway, let's run down here. I think they're probably still down here. You can fill one of these caches up pretty quickly. So not only do I have a cache that's mostly full, I also still have, plenty more of this stuff in here, and, things like that. Let's see, can I get the rest of those out of there and put them in that box, because that's just easier to do that way. But yeah, so you can get a lot of it. So every single one of those limes, so that's 10, what is it, 10,000 plus a little more, that's 10,000 pieces technically of, well, batteries, which is this. So that's not terrible. The next problem is going to be, well, all of the other things that we haven't done. I did in between episodes automate low density structures, and it's as simple as just taking one of the assembly machines up in our mall area and feeding it a bunch of stuff. So we do have this built, ready to go, and we're going to use this recipe for the time being. I may eventually move towards this one, just because I have tons and tons of tin, and I really am going to have to figure out a way to get rid of the tin to get the cobalt. Cobalt's still going to be the problem. Looking at the way this was built, now granted, I now have around 4,000 cobalt dust, which means unless we use the cobalt somewhere else, that's 4,000 batteries, which is 4,000 yellow science. And I am sorry for the noise. There's another thing down here we're going to look at here because of the fact that there's another little deal. So we're going to talk about those as we get. Last little thing that we need to kind of probably look at, and I think is going to be in today's episode, is we're going to automate the other two pieces. One of which is going to be the electric engines, which I do believe we need to unlock. I pushed the wrong button. We need this quest. Electric engines is going to be under here. That requires 50 blue research, so just grab one of those. Actually, just give me all of those, and we can go ahead and do a bunch of research right now. So give me those, because we need those for yellow. Thank you very much. There's a reason why I'm after the yellow very much, is because yellow is going to give us some other interesting ideas as far as things go. Actually, I did it already, did that, did 2, did 3, did 4, did all of this. We should probably go after both of those 2. Lathe probably wouldn't be a bad idea. There's a lot of things that I'm kind of just umming and ahhing about how I want to do certain things, but if I remember, if I need to go down into, where is it? Nuclear. And again, we're going to have to start fiddling with this. I think what I'm probably going to do is we're probably going to build a secondary location for the nuclear, just so that I don't have to deal with the stuff that it's going to bring. Oh yes, yellow is going to provide better mining tier drones and other things. I know there's some other stuff in here that we're going to be able to play with as we kind of go along. We're getting to that point, I guess, until some more major work is done with the pack. I can, kind of burn some material on things and do some stuff. I honestly really don't see the need for any of the extra stuff that's down here. Even though, it's kind of a great idea, I don't really see the need for extra power past, maybe the ones we currently can open. Matter of fact, we might as well just go ahead and do that while we're here. Go ahead, give them to me, because I might use them, but I might not. I understand that in order to get better materials, you're going to move towards certain things. So like this, we can now do the flexible HV wiring. And once we get to that point, we can do this. I'm actually more interested in the laser energy stuff, which is going to require laser theory. Laser theory, I believe, if I click on the button, is clear over here again. That's yellow. So I'm kind of thinking that we're going to step past this using the lasers. So I don't even know if I'm going to bother pushing through the rest of the technology that goes with those ducts if I can bypass, or at least bypass, the usage of them. So let's go put this back in here for now. We'll let it build for a little while. I probably actually at that point can turn these back on, can I? I should have this make a little bit. Laser theory, yeah, 250. We're going to have to do a little bit more goofing. This area is going to be fun, and this is going to be some of the stuff that I'm kind of looking forward to. I've been kind of looking forward to playing with this stuff for a little while just to see what we could get out of it. We're going to have to just go ahead and tear into this section eventually. Part of the base design was to try to avoid having to deal with any of the military, and that's just because of the thing. So before we go into anything else, I want to speak a little bit about the challenges. So we did go ahead and crack open the challenge list over here, and in between episodes, I have done this, and well, we're waiting on this. I haven't done the radioactive waste because we haven't managed to produce any of it. But I went ahead and just blew through all of those except for this, and I think we even did the unrouted one once. And I have left this one on, mainly because of the fact that when the factory isn't doing anything, we're producing a reasonable amount of power. And if you go ahead and you have a lot of excess power, well, then just go ahead and work this out. So it didn't become blatantly obvious when I was working with this little thing how to make this challenge system work. So the challenges gave us a task screen and a reward collector. And basically what that happens is the task screen allows you to track a task in the world and supply resources automatically. What I didn't grasp the concept is that you feed the material that you're trying to get rid of directly into the task screen, not into this thing or the reward collector. So what you do with the task screen here is, in this case, we've selected the, 100 million FE, 100 million FE. You just select the proper thing that you want, you click on the button, and then away it goes. And then if you come into this box in here and you say, well, I want to select the reward for said thing, so I think I have to search this one up because it's not exactly what I thought it would be. Lead plates, copper plates, feral ghoul, challenge of red, right there. 100 million FE. If I click that button, what it's going to do is it's going to, well, collect the coin that I get from that and then let that one run again and again and again. So the more power you have, then quicker that little bar fills up, which is something that if you have a factory that's kind of chilling, not doing anything, or a bunch of excess power, or say the ability to create several hundred thousand just a decent amount of RF for a little while without actually caring about it, well, that's going to get you the coins for a pretty reasonable amount. I mean, for what it's worth, power for us is costing power and hardened fluid ducts. That's all it's costing us. So for that much, I don't even want to do the math on it generally, but it's not costing me a whole lot for those coins. So I kind of let it run a little bit, not a lot. Some of this was some of the other challenges that we've picked up, but still, if you've got excess power, it's not a stupid idea. Now, since I turned the factory on, I don't want it to continuously do that, so we'll let it run one more time. But even with the factory up and running at max capacity the way things have been going, we should still have at least a little bit of power. Now, I haven't spoken with y'all, and I probably need to go down here and make sure that it's functional because it has been acting a little stupid. But an episode or two ago, I got bored and rebuilt the power down here, so let's take a look at it. Okay, so something that you guys have known about for a while is that I've been digging a hole underneath the base, and the general idea about the hole is so that we could utilize the resources that you need. So cobblestone and andesite, granite, all that other kind of stuff that we're using elsewhere, as well as just other little things. And part of that was also to allow me to kind of build structures under the base to do things. So I do apologize, it's a little loud down here, but we can do for sure crouch and look down. I keep moving this direction, and eventually we're going to get to the other side of it. But in reality, you need all of those things. You don't necessarily need the marble. The marble gets thrown away immediately, but pretty much everything else in here, I'm putting it to use, except for the lava. And, well, I don't think there's any reason to be using the obsidian at this point. So I don't know what to tell you other than it's just, instead of trying to run a cobblestone generator for once, I'm just digging out the world. And eventually, once we get down a little bit further, I'll probably build a mob farm in here. Now, I don't really believe there's a need for a massive mob farm. I think the only thing I might try to do is build one specialized for string and gunpowder, because if you build one specialized for string and gunpowder, that means the only things that can spawn in it are spiders and creepers. So we might play with that, we might not, I don't know. But anyhow, I got really bored and decided that we needed a little bit more power. So I went and built a little bit more power. And the a little bit more power is an interesting thing, because I believe this was spoken about on the Discord recently, is the ratios are a little odd. Well, they're not odd, they're just kind of a pain to understand until you realize how it works. So ratios are pretty simple. It's 3 advanced steam turbines to 1 steam boiler to 1 of the hydro plants. And as long as you can keep a hydro plant full of water, well, then you're fine. So I had to come out and actually add a little bit more water power to our system so that this would work, because this is where all the water for the entire base comes from. And then I kind of decided this time around, before we over where we had the power way over there, that I was just trashing the water. At this point, there's an awful lot of returned water coming out of here. There's a lot of water coming out of here. So I return it back to a holding tank. Now, it's a little bit of a kind of a counterintuitive kind of thing. You think you could just pump the water in and it would work, but eventually these things will, or the turbines will back up and just stop working. So what I do is I deliver the water to a tank on top that has a comparator that is plugged into a block with, come on, you can get over it, I know. So it's plugged into a block with a redstone torch with a repeater that is pushed into one of the valves. And that valve is talking to this little bitty item router or fluid router so that it can figure out that it needs to pull water in when it needs to. So what we're doing is, essentially, the logic is, I want to keep that water tank as full as possible all the time. I need it over 100 at least all the time, period, or else these hydro plants start having problems. So what we do is we take the overflow from the turbines and we pump it into this tank. And as long as there's water in that tank, that comparator is going to be on, which means it's going to shut the redstone torch off, which means it's going to toggle that valve. That valve will not allow any water in from the major system in until there is 0 water in that tank. Because it's literally a one jump into a redstone torch into a thing, if there's any amount of water in that tank, it will kick that thing. So as you notice, it's like water, 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 bang, down, off, water, 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 bang, and it gives it a little bit of time so that those turbines can push water back into that tank. In order to run this many things with this few water extractors, I have to do that. I have to do that. And it's fine because that means I'm not wasting the energy over here on water. And I am totally 100% about this idea for water. I think that for random out in the world things like your miners, sure, that's fine. If you're running your base, you need to be spending power on water. I'm just gonna say it. I think that's just fair. I honestly think that's just fair. So using the water bores, cute, cool. I honestly think they're not necessary because of the fact there's so much power already available. So this has basically been getting pumped into that screen and has been creating coins for us. So let's go back upstairs and we can kind of work on what I wanted to work on today, or at least one of the little pieces. I know it's going to be one of those back and forth things today. So workshop. See, it's already full. I love it. Anyhow, on to what I want to do. V doesn't count. That's not this game. Play the game that you need to play. So in order to do yellow science, we've got pretty much everything else done except for that electric engine and the energy cells. We have, I do believe I set those up, right? I think I built those already. I know I built some stuff in between episodes. So energy. So we do have those set up. They're ready to go. They're up there. I think I went and changed a bunch of those out. Basically, again, we're just going to kind of continue this structure upwards until we run out of things to build. So one of the next big things that I can't wait for, actually, I think is part of the reason why we're interested in it, is module factory. And a module factory will probably, again, just take a floor and build it, or maybe I'll build it someplace else. But in order to get this part that I want to start working on now, those are going to be these blue circuits, or circuit number 4. Circuit number 4, I do believe we have not researched. So those live right there. They want 300 blue research. Yes, please. That'll also allow us to spend some money on something that I want. Is it the blue stuff? Yeah, so I kind of should not have done that early. Should not have done those that early. The blues, or the purple science, the purple blues. But after that, the purple blues, that means we can do some of this and some of this, which means we're going to go straight into these. And I think those are purple blues. Beautiful. Is this purple blue? This is purple. So we're going to start blowing a bunch of purple blue out here. Oh, we'll play with that in a very short order. I had completely forgotten about those. Let's get this running. This is more important. But we'll go ahead and claim it so that I don't forget about it. All right, so One more thing. So this is frame machines. I'm highly tempted. I'm highly tempted to fool around with something like this. I seriously, I'm very highly tempted to fool around with something like this. It's been forever since I've made a World Eater, and a World Eater would be a lot of fun. The only problem is we don't have the World Eater that I want. So fabricators, we will be getting right into those because fabricators are definitely something that I want to fool with, as well as those. And we will probably likely mess with this in the next episode as long as we can build them. So we got a few new things: infinite ore cluster drill, electric engines. I am going to say that we're going to give me one little bitty second. I want to see where we are. And we're going to either start working on this or we're going to start working on the electric engines in just a second. Okay, so I think looking through some of the things that I want to kind of look at doing, I think I want to, there's a lot of things we're going to have to build. There's going to be a lot of things we're going to have to build to do those blue circuits. And I think we can probably do it in an episode, maybe, given certain things. So I think what we're going to do with what's left after the discussion of a few other things, because I need to get that to run a lot more. I need a lot more cobalt, and we need to do a bunch more stuff. We're going to save this for later. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn the machine on that does the purple blue sciences, the whatever these are. I haven't been running it, this production blue research. We're going to let that run, and we're going to build a bunch of production blue research for a little while. And then we're going to unlock this. This is one of my favorite machines. So we'll see about what this will do for us. And if it will do a decent amount of work, that's awesome. If not, well, then we're going to try to do a few things. But there's a lot of recipes that it can definitely do. Whether or not it's going to be faster than, well, some of the assemblers, I don't know. But I do kind of want to fool with it because there are some things that it will do, I think, for cheaper parts. I don't know. I just, like, right there, like, that's this circuit. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That circuit's normally, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out the need for whether or not it's a thing and is it worth my time or whatever. But definitely there's going to be some stuff that we're going to have to play with. So I think with what's left of the episode, we're going to go ahead and do the electric engines. Electric engines should be nothing more than a chemical plant that eats lubricant that we're really really not making, I don't think. Where is it? I know we have, there's 300 of them. I don't know how much is part of this. So electric engines are those. Can I make the advanced ones? Oh, see, this is why I'm interested in that that fabricator. That's why I'm interested in that fabricator. It would be worth to see who's faster, the modular machines assemblers or a fabricator with a, well, an advanced electric engine in it, because that's worth going after these tier core upgrades or core tier whatever upgrades so that you can make things work a little faster. But in order to do this, we need a chemical plant that's going to be eating not very much lubricant, so that's quite a lot of engines. Large wood engine and circuits. So we'll just go right down here onto the end where we have chemical set up, and we'll put another one of these up right here. So let's get that done. Let me get it sorted. And I got to do all the usual. I'll be back. I have no idea where that went, but I guess we'll deal with it. Let me see. Click, go, make another one. You're going to live within a reasonable distance of this one, so you're on the wall, right on the edge. Go. Okay. And then we need to build into electric engines. Now, how slow is this process? Sorry if I got a little quiet there. 200 ticks or 100 ticks. So we're going to run it like that. We're going to go get one of the things. Okay, so a green thing means green happy. Where's our pipe box? Pipe box. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. For a second there, I was like, where did you leave it? And then I'm going to need some suppliers and well, we're going to have to do the whole thing because I don't think I've done any of that in here. So, yeah, we're going to bring front two. Let's just go ahead and bring a very small amount. We don't need a lot. So, this, and then we'll keep a dropper full of it. So, again, all we do with these normally is I'll kind of build a little system. And I know it's been a while since we built one. So, let's build a little system that is going to kind of basically babysit this thing. So I think we have the outside system on the front side. Okay. So we'll just kind of build it kind of right there. So what we want to do is we want to bring in the 3 parts or the 2 parts. 2 parts, 2 parts. Engine. Label that. No, hit A. So I need to bring in large engines and the green circuits. So I want to keep both of those right here. So we go boop, boop, and then we hit them with the wrench. So we're going to say engine, motor. I think it's a motor actually, right? Wood motor. Yeah, I had it right there. Wood motor, large engine, click, and then you do the same thing here with the green circuit or circuit. Circuit green type 1 each go there, and then on top of that we're going to put the output, which is going to be a dropper, kind of like, let's see if I can get him to face upwards so that I don't have to look at his face. Droppers work for just random stuff. So long as you don't power them, they work perfectly fine. So here we're going to put one of those there that is going to say forever engine. Engine, this guy right there. And likely what will happen is, I mean, how much stuff is in this? How much needs those things? Is it just going to be those? Because, like, this is not necessary to be very fast. And that's only one time use. So it's only going to be this, and that is 140 ticks. So if I'm making one every 100 ticks, then I am overdoing what the thing can do unless I make more yellow. So then what we do is we grab a couple of the provider logistics pipes. That will tell this system to see this. That will tell this system to see this. And then we grab a little bit of this stuff. And since I believe we already have one almost at the right place, looks like. And I think power should be pretty simple, right? Yeah, good. So that's right there. Those will power up. It'll bring those back. And then I have to, this is when I should have done something a little better than this, but let's come up a little bit, and I need to stay away from that. So let's go, because electricity, we won't need it. Electricity. RF, we won't need it on this network because this is already being drugged through. We just need to make sure we have some pipes. So we drag this direction. We need 2 things, so we'll go ahead and grab a couple of the suppliers. So then the suppliers go again on the side here, and the provider, or the last one that we have, can go right there and be connected around to do something like that. And then we hop up here, and I'll have to put a smart pipe in there eventually, but we won't worry about it right now. So then simple again, once we go that engine right there forever, and this is a circuit, go, and then over here, all I need to do is figure out where I put all of my little power thingies. There's one. And then we need to run a little bit of a lubricant to the thing. It goes over here, right? Yeah, okay. And then this is where that little wonky mess that we have right there is. And it's something that I did finally figure out, that I can just, disconnect it if I have the correct tool in my inventory. Where is our power junction? We need one of those. So we'll place this, I guess we can put it right there for now, and I need to get one of the little power thingies, put that down there, and then those should start transmitting the stuff over to where that goes. We're definitely working against the frames again right now because it's the way this base is working at this point. Can't wait. I'm going to start looking at making probably a few little bit of a computer upgrade probably fairly soon, so it might help a little bit with this, at least with the memory and the CPU usage, the processor, the GPU is just perfectly fine. Okay, so last thing we need to do is we need to feed a little bit of lubricant into something into this system, which means I need that and this. All right, and then we jump up here with all of the parts after getting the correct thing that we need. And how you make these work, and as a way I always tend to forget, is that IE has the capability of toggling things on and off. So we do this, and that's technically not supposed to connect to that, which is going to allow me to do something similar to what that has, which is this up here. And then we need lubricant in the bottom. If I can spell. Lubricant is going to be on the bottom, and we can put that right there. And then all I need to do is run the pipe from over here to there and then down across this. Sorry about that. Someone's beating the crap out of his keyboard because he likes to play weird games. But anyhow, so that should put some lubricant down here, because we have lubricant behind, and we should technically, once I insert the thing in here, making electric engines. Once again, struck by the inability for the system to understand that it doesn't need to try to put something in from one side to the other, so we need to find a better place to power from, because the thing thinks it needs to put stuff in. So we'll put it right there. And we'll put that right there, and we'll put you right there with the power thing on the side. And then you should pull the engines out. Yeah, so that's one of those things that this does, because this is a provider pipe. It can't, well, a provider pipe. It tries to provide from this, which I don't understand. But anyhow, so we put stuff in here, we have stuff in here, and we should now be making the electric engines, correct? Yes, there goes one right now. And they probably look massive inside these pipes, just like they look massive in every single other pipe. Cool. All right. Nice. There's our first electric engine. So in the next episode, we're going to unlock a few more tools, a few more machines, and we're going to start working on building the blue circuits, or circuit, whatever. We're going to start working on this really nasty looking mess, which is actually not that bad. I think the worst is going to actually be, well, I think pretty much everything we can just do it right now, but I want to use a different machine for what we're doing for certain things. I want to see how much the difference between, well, I want to see what the difference is between some of the other parts that we're currently producing. Like, so there's a fabricator recipe for this. So that's redstone, purified copper wire, 2 silicon wafers, and a plastic sheet, versus the 2 silicon wafers, electric wire, and plastic sheet. It's the same kind of recipe. I'm just wondering if it's going to be any better using a fabricator. Well, it is, of course, right there, obviously, because it's going to make 7 of them. In here, transistor versus this, you get 2 if you use an assembly machine, you get 3 if you use one of those. So we'll probably start converting things over to the fabricator once we get a few more things going, because I want to start using as much of the, well, I want to make sure we're doing things as reasonably efficient as possible. So, all right, electric engines, moving forward. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.